School. If you haven't started a community on School yet, then you are just horsing around.
School is the biggest trend in 2024. Everybody's telling you to start your own low-ticket community. But before you do that, I want you to watch this video because I genuinely think it's not the best way to monetize your audience. I genuinely think that you're leaving a lot of money on the table if you start a school community. And in this video, I'm going to break down my reasons why I think that, why I would never start a school personally, and what I'm going to be doing instead. So hopefully you guys can have some insights and make a better decision for your own business. But before we even go into that, I want to actually talk about a few qualifications on why I believe I can actually talk about the subject. My name is Sue. I've been scaling for Info for about 2 years now. We've worked with over 100 clients, generated over $1.5 million in client revenue, and the guys that we've worked with have just all achieved insane results. Patrick runs an Amazon FBA coaching offer. He went from $5K to $40,000 cash collected profit in 30 days of working together. Rahul is another guy that came to us. He went from 15K MRR to 30K MRR in a span of 120 days with his fitness offer. We literally doubled his business. And I've been doing this for a long time, and I just don't believe in the low ticket route. I believe in the high ticket route. So here are the reasons as to why I don't think school is the best way to monetize. So the entire goal of school is to make as much money as possible or upsell your low ticket members into a high ticket community. The problem with that is that it's not the best way to do it. There's a ton of better ways to actually do it, and it's just too much for someone to consume. And so the high ticket route looks like this. You only really target the guys that are super hot. And then the guys that are colder, they don't really get the attention. You're not really able to make money off of them. And the idea behind a low ticket is that you have different tiers of people that are cold, hot, and warm, okay? So assuming this is cold, assuming this is warm, and assuming this is hot. The goal with school is to transition someone that's cold into a warm lead and then eventually into a hot lead that pays the 4K offer or whatever you have. And the problem with this is that it doesn't work like that. Because when you sell a school community, these guys stay stuck in the cold area. They stay stuck in this cold area because there's too much to consume. If you give someone an entire course, video modules, an entire program and accountability, like weekly calls and everything, it's very hard to transcend someone into a warm lead and then eventually a hot lead that buys your 4K, 5K offer. That's the reality of it, okay? And so it's the right idea, but the wrong execution. And why I believe it's actually the wrong execution is because the first and the most important reason is it gives people easy access to you. You're selling your access for $50 a month, which is the entire, that's the huge problem. If you sell someone access to you for such a cheap price, your high ticket and your, 4K offer just doesn't look attractive. And I know this because I've been a part of a community before. This guy was making over $600K a month. He launched a low ticket. It was only like $50 or something like that. I joined it. I was able to hop on a weekly group call with him every single week. And I asked my questions. I asked him what he thought about this, and I just ran everything through him. And I was able to get the most prized possession, his time, for $50 a month. In that analogy I just gave you where I paid $50 and I could get access to the coach, his other high ticket was 10K, okay? His high ticket was 10K. I was able to get what I wanted out of a 10K program in a $50 per month subscription. And so you may think, oh, he made $50. He didn't make $50. I wanted access to him. I would have paid him for whatever he charged. The thing is, he lost $9,950 because he started a school community, in my specific analogy, right? And I know a ton of guys that joined the low ticket that didn't upsell, that didn't end up buying the high ticket because we got what we wanted. We wanted access to him. We got it for $50 a month. There's no point of us buying the high ticket. That's the cost of actually starting a low ticket community, okay? Now, the second reason why I won't suggest actually starting it is because it spreads your attention thin. I'm going to be completely honest. You should be paying attention to the clients that pay you thousands of dollars, not the guys that pay you $50 a month. Okay? What school does is it spreads your focus, right? Because now you have the high ticket. You have the guys that are paying you 4K, 5K, whatever. And then you also have this low ticket. And 90% of the time, your attention is going to be split both ways because you're going to try to upsell everyone into the high ticket. You're going to put more time into them. And it's spreading your attention thin. And you're going to actually make your high ticket clients unhappy because you have to manage an entire community. You have to, make sure that there's no fires. You have to make sure that the community is clean. There's no one outreaching to all your members. You have to make sure that these guys are getting value. You have to refund requests and everything. And it's just not worth it. Your time is the most precious asset as a business owner, and you should only be spending it on the guys that pay you a lot of money. That is the first thing, right? And also, these guys that pay you $50 a month, they don't care about your time. They are the most naggy people because they are all broke. And so they think that $50 is a lot, and that's just a natural type of clients you tend to attract. With low-ticket communities, you tend to attract more broke leads and guys that just aren't willing to spend as much, which is just a huge headache in itself. I don't know if you guys have seen the meme of like the guy that's paid $50 and it's like, oh, you know, I trust in you with this money and everything, and then the guy that pays $5,000 is just like, sent, okay, cool, what do I do next? It's the same exact thing. Charging high ticket allows you to work with better clients, and starting a school might make you money, but it will mess up your fulfillment. And that's the last thing you want to do, because fulfillment is probably the most important thing in your entire coaching business, all right? And so you as a business owner, you should really only be focusing on two things: the fulfillment for your high ticket offer and your content. If you extend this fulfillment to your high ticket and then your school, guess what? Your high ticket will not get as much of your attention as they need, as they want, you know? And so it just messes it up. Like, guys, I know school works. I know school works for a ton of people. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but I'm saying that it's not important, because there's tons of other ways to get someone warm and hot and everything to buy your high ticket. School is just not the best way to do it, okay? And one of the reasons why is because you spread your attention thin between the high ticket and the school, all right? Now, the third reason is it delays the buying process. Because let's say I wanted to work with you. Let's say you have a low ticket community and a high ticket. Let's say I wanted to work with you. Any logical person would not jump straight into the high ticket because it's expensive, you know, there's a lot of risk, whatever. And so naturally they'll be like, okay, let me check out what his low ticket is. And especially if you sell to busy people that have 9-to-5s, that have things going on in their life, that are just working all day, then guess what? They don't have time. This is a clock, by the way. They do not have time, okay? And so chances are they will buy into your low ticket community, and they will actually want to go through that entire low ticket stuff. They'll want to go through the videos. They want to attend the calls. They want to talk to you before they join the high ticket. But because not a lot of them have time, and because they don't value it because they only pay $50 for it, they won't end up joining. They won't end up joining the high ticket because they have to consume the low ticket first. And so you're almost putting a stop in between. And so this is your client, right? This is the buyer's journey. They have to go through school first and then the high ticket. So what you just did is you added another step into the buyer's journey that isn't really required to get them from warm to hot. It isn't required because it's too much to consume. They have to consume the videos, the program, the modules. They have to look at the community, everything. So why would they actually buy the high ticket? You're essentially giving them more friction to join the high ticket by saying, hey, don't join this yet. Join my low ticket. Hopefully you get value from it. Actually go through the content and then join the high ticket. You see how that doesn't make sense? It doesn't add up. You want to make the transition from your client to the high ticket as smooth as possible. And the best way to do that is to not have a school. And the best way to do that is by what I'm going to show you later on in this video, okay? Now, I know I said 3 reasons, but it's also just a huge headache to manage a school community. You're going to have to hire like a CSM. You're going to have to hire a moderator. You're going to have to put in all the video modules in the community. You're going to have to like manage the community, answer questions, make them happy, handle refund requests because you're dealing with broke people. There's just too much to worry about. And you see it all the time. These guys that start school communities, they run it out the first month for the second month, but then the churn just kills them. Because when you deal with broke guys, they just buy in for the first, second month, and then the third month, they got what they wanted, they're out. So they just paid you $100 and they got as much value as they needed and they're out. Don't do that. It's not worth it. You're going to deal with an insane amount of churn. And so this is what I believe you should do instead. What I believe you should do instead is sell a low ticket version of your offer. And so this simplifies literally everything, right? You focus on one product, one fulfillment system, one community, one everything, okay? Now, one of the reasons why this is so good is because you don't need to have 3 different offers. You don't need to have 3 different offers. And the biggest mistake coaches make is that they think they have to have a 1K, 3K, 5K, and it's like, no. You just have to have one offer, sell it at different price points, at different durations, and you can print off of that. Because what you're doing is you're focusing all your time and effort into making that fulfillment good and then getting everyone into it. Okay? Because creating a different offer, you have to create different fulfillment systems, different video modules, different community, different everything. It's a complicated process. Don't do that. Okay? The goal here is to sell different tiers of access. Guys, I know my handwriting isn't the best, but bear with me. The goal here is to sell different tiers of access. Sell the same program, but sell different tiers of access so you can charge people accordingly to how much they have. So let's say you have a 5K offer, right? 5K is pretty average. 5K offer, and let's say you have this for 4 months. These guys have access to you for 4 months. What you could literally do is have a cheaper one that's 2K cheaper and have it for 2 months. And then you could also have an more expensive one for 8K, which is maybe 8 months, right? And here's the thing, bear with me, right? Bear with me. Here's the thing, you could actually have an even lower ticket version of that to get people through the door easier. And so if you actually split it up, I've already done the math, but if you split it up, someone can pay $375 per week for 8 weeks. Now, if someone joins the 4-month one, and if you do like the math as well, someone can literally pay $315 per week for 16 weeks. And then obviously there's the more expensive one, $250 per week for 32 weeks. So I literally just got rid of the entire school, low ticket, funnel, whatever. And I'm able to cultivate majority of my audience through this way, through this pricing structure. If someone doesn't even have $375 a week to spend, please don't work with them. Please don't try and sell everybody. Just tell them to get their money up and then join you. It's just not worth it, okay? And I've been able to basically break it down in such an easy way for them to join that there's no reason why they really won't join. So the entire idea of a low ticket is like, oh, you have to get them ready to pay 3K. You really don't. You can just break it up into smaller payments and just make it an easier yes. Reduce the friction and just make it an easier yes, right? So again, if you do the math, you guys can just pull up your calculator or whatever. 375 times 8 is 3K. 315 times 16 is 5 weeks. We're just breaking it up into more digestible payments for your clients, okay? And the reason why this works is because all you really have to do is get someone to go from a cold lead to watch your content to buy your service. So again, cold, warm, hot. So the entire goal obviously is to get them from a cold lead to a warm lead to a hot lead. Now let's say you're still not confident that someone can just pay like $375 per week. You can actually run a workshop. A workshop is 100 times better than school because the consumption is much less, okay? So the idea behind a low ticket workshop is they join you for an hour, 1 hour session, call, around a topic that they want to solve. So for my target market, it could be a 1 hour Zoom call on how to hire, train, and manage a setter, right? To book 3 to 5 calls a day. That could be a workshop, and I'm actually planning on hosting that down the line around topic, right? And then basically they get all the value, get a ton of value for maybe $50. And it's a one-time payment. You're just trying to get them to transact with you, right? It's the idea of a school, but it's a better execution. You get them to, just get a ton of value for $50. And what happens after that is you have a strong pitch at the end. And these guys will end up joining your low ticket. And if you let them know that they can get started for $375 per week, if they have money, they'll join, right? And so I've been able to just completely get rid of the idea of school, completely get rid of it, introduce a new workshop, and then make it easier for someone to join, even if they don't have a ton of money. That is how you do it. And that's the alternative I would just recommend you guys do, as opposed to this whole school community thing. Again, I know that school works for a ton of you guys. I know that school works for a ton of coaches and everything. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but it's a headache. And I've talked to a ton of guys who've done a ton of research on a school funnel. It's just not the most optimized way to scale. The most optimized way to scale is to run a low-ticket workshop, have a strong upsell into a $375 per week program, make it digestible for them, and get them to pay it off. That's probably one of the easiest ways to do it. And I know what you guys are thinking, oh, what if someone doesn't pay for 8 weeks? What if they just pay for a week? There's contracts in place. Literally just get a contract on DocuSign, on PandaDoc, whatever it is, get them to sign it. And guys, if you did your work correctly and you did your market research and you post good content and you really provided them value, this is a no-brainer right here. It's a complete no-brainer. So this is probably one of the best funnels to run. If you're looking to start a low ticket whatever, it's an easy way to upsell someone from, again, a cold lead to a warm lead to a hot lead. And it's very, very frictionless. It's very, very smooth. And it allows you to get a lot of clients through the door consistently. And on top of that, you actually build up MRR. You build up MRR. And so with this model, I've been able to actually generate like around 10K MRR consistently every single month. So there's cash flow coming in. And that's just what I've been able to do. So I hope you guys found value in this video. I know you guys will have a lot of questions, so feel free to drop them down below. But if you want help actually building out this funnel and actually scaling your coaching business to those 30K per month mark, I've been able to do it for myself. I've been able to do it for 50 to 100 of my clients already. And the funnel just works. The funnel just works. This is just a small part of the upsell funnel. And I hope you guys found value. So if you want to work with me one-on-one, feel free to scroll down below, click on the first link in the description, book in a call with me, and we'll talk soon. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.